Good morning, everybody. It's a great Saturday morning. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about it was a program that I took when I was locked up called Thinking for a Change. And sometimes we don't always think before we react, or we react before we think. And that's something that I think we all can work on. You know, it's easy to jump to conclusions and assume somebody is against you or some group of people are against you. But let's try to do the thinking, before even any of that takes place. And let's start using our brain or our noggins before we react. If you're watching, please say hi so I know if anybody's watching this video. I would really appreciate it. When I was incarcerated, there was a lot of programs I took that I benefited from. One was victims awareness, thinking for a change. Um, um, so many programs that really put me in place to think before I react. I would like to think, that we, each and every one of us, could say 5 things that we like about someone instead of 5 things we don't like about that person. And I challenge you today to just go up to someone and say, "I like you because you're kind, you're genuine, you're compassionate, or whatever you might have." And let's see how that would work. You know, um, Good morning, there, my friend. Um, and I'm just as guilty as this. I jump to conclusions and want to look sometimes for the bad in people, and there's always something good and something positive that we could say about someone. I ran into so many good people over the year, people that have compassion and concern for others, people that would go the extra mile for someone, even if they don't know them. I remember one Christmas, my mom sent me $100 worth of Wendy's gift cards just to hand out to the homeless people. So I was standing in front of my church, United Methodist Church for All People on Parsons Avenue, and I started just handing them out to people. I don't know if they all were homeless or not, but I remember 2 of the guys that I handed it to, and they kept begging for a second one. So I watched what they did is they went up there and sold the $10 card for $5 so they could go out and buy booze or what have you. So I'm not talking about doing stuff like that. If you run into someone, take them out for lunch, take them out for a cup of coffee, um, and just show your compassion and love for other people. Growing up in church, when I was younger, I grew up in Palmer Heights Baptist Church. To this day, I watch the services on YouTube. We had a pastor by the name of Terry Holly. He's still around. He's area coordinator, I think, for the North American Baptist Seminar. But we had so many classes on, how we react to things, how our compassion could be used for a positive. And I'll never forget a lot of the stuff that I learned. Learning growing up in church. I was adopted into a godly family, where they put God first, country and God first, and so I was taught from an early age that we have to be kind to other people and not just, get upset. And like I said, I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I'll react before I think. And, sometimes the people forgive me, sometimes they don't. You know, so it's really important. And, getting to forgiveness, you can't forget usually, but forgiveness is so important. 1 John 1:9 says he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us for all unrighteousness. And, if we're Christians, we ought to be more like Christ. The Bible says that. And even in the Lord's Prayer, it says if you can't forgive others, how do you accept Christ to forgive you? The healing process begins once you forgive. Um, you know, um, it doesn't make a difference what occurred in your life, but true forgiveness means true healing. I know I'm jumping all around from subject to subject. I had a stroke, and sometimes I do that. But I just want people to know that there's always something good in people. You know, I have two Facebook pages. Both have almost 5,000 on it. I met quite a few of the people, some I haven't. Those that are always negative, that do a lot of cussing and stuff, I do unfriend them. I've had to block a few people. People came after me because of my past record. For those that don't know, I spent many years in prison. I was not guilty of the conviction, but I did do a lot of wrong things. You know, I've asked for forgiveness, you know, and I don't know if people have or not. I had to forgive the person that abused me when I was a child, not a family member though. It was somebody else, you know, and, you know, so, you know, we all go through our own struggles. Excuse me for a second. And when I, you know, the struggles sometimes are very painful. You know, we don't like to dwell on everything we've done wrong, but when people keep bringing it up, throwing it in your face, it's kind of hard to forgive yourself because it's like a constant thing that keeps happening. But I'm really encouraged by so many good people. Today I made a post, what was one thing you liked about me? And I encourage each of you to do the same. And let's see if people could think of one or two things that they like about you instead of all the negative. I'm sure if you think not hard, you could think of something negative about me. But let's try to, like I said at the beginning, go up to one person today and say, I like you because of this, that, or this. It could be your compassion, your dedication, your concern, your generosity. It could be so many different things. And let's start thinking positive, being positive as people, even as a nation. You know, I talk to prisoners on a regular basis. I'm not as active as I was at one time. And for so many of them, you know, so many of them do admit their guilt. Some are totally innocent, some are wrongfully convicted. Wrongfully convicted means you committed a crime, just not what the conviction is. It is so difficult for them to forgive themselves. It is, because they realize what they did. They know what it was wrong. I would say most of the time when somebody commits a crime, it could be addiction or mental health issues. You know, I would say a big percentage of our people that's incarcerated have some type of mental health issues. I'm not sure what they are. I'm not in that field, but we need to get over our own personal hang-ups. You know, and you know, start accepting people for who they are. That does not mean you have to associate with everybody. That does not mean you have to go out to lunch with everybody. I think if a person has tried to is changing, then that's different. Then, you know, call him, talk to him, invite him out for lunch, shake hands with him. I've been to some churches in the Columbus area when I first got out in January 24, 2010. They asked myself and the people I was with to leave because of our records. You know, and a church is a place for the sinner, not the perfect ones. The perfect one died on the cross over 2,000 years ago and rose from the dead 3 days later. And remember, Jesus ate among sinners. Zacchaeus was one. You know, so it's just sad with what I see on a regular basis. You know, even just on Facebook, there was a guy that really bashed me a few months ago that even did a website, you know, trying to discredit me for everything that we as a group was trying to work on. It's okay, come after me, don't come after the people that we're trying to help. If we push somebody or harass them as soon as they get out of prison, we're going to push them right back into the system because they're not going to be able to think, reason things out because of the stress. And I'm finding out the stress that I'm under now is very difficult. You know, my health has declined. You know, I'm going to probably have to go into assisted living eventually. I love living in my house that my family owns actually. So it's not my house, but it was bought for me bought for me to have a place to live when I was released from prison. I love working in the yard. I love cutting grass, which I no longer can do. Um, and I don't know that many people in Columbus, to be honest. I'm from Parma Heights, Ohio. I grew up there. I went to Valley Forge High School. You know, um, so Columbus is kind of new, knowing I've lived here since the day I got out of prison. It's hard to rent apartments. It's hard to find assisted living if you have a record. We just don't want to give people a chance, and help people or go the extra mile. And I'm not saying just give people money. That's not what I'm saying by no means. I'm talking about my personal experience. When I almost died a couple years ago, when I woke up out of my coma, I remember promising God I was not going to cuss. I was not going to do this. I was not going to do that. I broke every single promise, but I'm still working on it. And we don't know when our last day is going to be here. We don't know what tomorrow holds. We know what today is, and you're standing here. Like my friend Lindsay told me one time, when you wake up, thank God for the blessing. Thank God that you woke up. Thank God that you're just here. But don't just condemn God. It's so easy for us, to blame God for everything. But it reminds me of something that a pastor told me one time. If you're drowning in the lake or the ocean, you're going to yell out, "Oh God!" Is that the only time we're going to ask for God's help? Is when we need Him? Let's pray every morning and thank God, and ask God for forgiveness for the things we have done wrong. And believe me, there's a lot of things I do wrong daily, so I have a whole list I got to go through. I need to start writing down the wrong things I do and go by that. And so I'm a little bit excited though that we have an opportunity to come here via Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, and share our thoughts with people. And like I said today, if you have a chance, write a post and ask people, what's one thing you like about me? It's on my timeline. You can see how I've written it, copy and paste it. And let's go from there. Hi, everybody. One person said good morning to me. If there's anybody else watching, can you please say hi so I have some idea? On the old way Facebook was, we used to tell how many people were watching our lives. You can't really do it anymore. You only can see if people write comments. I'm just trying to look see if there's any way that I can actually see on here. No, I can't see any way that people can tell. See, okay, yeah, I almost lost a video for some reason. Hi, friends. I think that's Hannah there. I can't really see too well. I just put my glasses on, but it's bad when you can't even see with glasses too well. For those that don't know, and I share this in most of my videos, in May 5th of 2020, I went to the hospital, and for slurred speech, they were getting ready to release me, though a few hours later, and then I started getting real slurred speech, so they took me back for a CAT scan and gave me contrast dye, and I coded twice and had 2 strokes. And I had an opportunity to see heaven. I died twice that day. I had an opportunity to see heaven, and I did not want to come back. God had other plans for me. Sometimes I wished I knew what the other plans were. I pray every morning to ask Him what His plans are for me. And one I know is to always be willing to listen to prisoners. In Matthew 25:35, I believe it talks about going to visit the prisoner, something like that. Look that up. It talks about the prisoner there. And even in churches, almost all churches I've gone to, I have never heard them once pray for prisoners. and I encourage, if you're a pastor or if you go to a church or a local church or wherever you go, why don't you bring that up and ask them to pray for the incarcerated? Remember, someday most of them will be out to join us. Either we could welcome them with open arms, or we could condemn them, just like they condemned Jesus and he did nothing wrong. So, if you have anything to say, please leave your comments here. And discussion, which is sometimes kind of nice. Let me see if anybody else is here. I'm not sure who Alex is here. Let me see. Not sure. Let me just see who. Sorry, guys. I know I'm looking awful close to these. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I was kind of out of your view for a minute. Well, I was out of your view. I just wanted to see if there's any comments on here. But is everybody up for the challenge to write that post and ask people, name one thing you like about me? Not the negative things. It's easy for us to come up with negative thoughts, negative feelings towards people. Sometimes we say things that we don't mean, but sometimes we need to say sorry. Sometimes you say it too many times and it's hard to forgive. A lot of times I would do the same thing over and over again, and then I ask for forgiveness, and the person just doesn't want you anymore. Sometimes you may feel used when you're really not being used. Sometimes you might feel like you really don't have any friends, when there's a whole list of people that do care about you or that do like you. So let's just try to be a little bit positive about things, and accept people for who they are, and shake their hands. Today, like I said at the beginning, I challenge you also to go up to one person and tell them 5 things what you like about them, and also shake their hand. You don't have to even know the person to shake their hand. You might not know anything about them, but you could shake their hand. Have coffee with somebody today. Call somebody up that you might have had ill feelings for and say, I forgive you. Let's not hold on to anger, hatred, or grudges anymore, folks. It's going to eat you up alive. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I'm just sitting out in my backyard, as you can see. I'm on my back deck, and I'm just trying to relax a little bit and have fun. If anybody ever needs to get a hold of me just to talk, my phone number is 380-799-3868. Thank you, everybody, and have yourself a great, great day. I just gotta figure out how to turn this off now. Let's see. Well, I'll get to it eventually, guys. Let's see. It's bad when you don't have your glasses on and you just can't see. Oh, there you are. And YouTube, thank you for joining us today. Feel free to email me at Kronenberger, KRONENBERGER, JD@gmail.com. Again, that is KRONENBERGER, JD@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us today.